in the blue. The best team in the world right now, Moist Esports, taking on the underdog of the event, SMPR. Let's get down to the Verizon Skybox for game number 1.
No game shows the old era versus the new more than this one. Moist with 3 highly mechanical players taking it all the way at the London Major, up against some old guard, SureSet, DreamHack, SureSet, Exotic, and Casio, trying to do it with team play, with challenges.
Absolutely. And Moist Esports, you talk about the challenges, they are dominant, mainly because of their mechanics. It allows for a lot more opportunities to steal some boost, but this is a series, a battle of ice. Who can clutch up the most? You think about the history, the reputation of Moist, so clutch in overtimes, in the lower bracket, but SMPR, my goodness, 9-0 in overtimes at Worlds. They have been on a tear, and certainly are gonna try and prove that they can clutch up just as good, if not better than Moist.
We've seen that from both these teams, improvements
across
this season.
Oh my.
Casio, he's gonna score the first one, SMPR strike.
First goal off a classic dribble from SureSet 45. Bringing out those old Valencia moves. Casio with a nice follow-up too. This is something that SMPR are so good at, and that's scoring first, Yummy.
SureSet told me coming into this event that we're gonna see that DreamHack SureSet. Maybe it's not a dream after all.
And interestingly enough, SMPR, they're 10-0 in games when they score first. This is the best news for SMPR, getting that first goal early on, building some confidence.
You bring out those stats, those are all from this World Championship. That just shows how dominant they have been here. The question is, can they take down the team that have dominated everybody for the last 2 splits?
SureSet looking for another one off the backboard. We've got a good defensive showing out of Moist besides that first goal that did trickle in. I think they got slapped in the face a little bit, realizing that, okay, maybe the dribble game we need to approach differently. It's not going to be as mechanical. As long as SMPR don't try to play into that battle and fall into that trap of, okay, we can outpace Moist. Instead, they need to play their game. Obviously, it's going to be with those dribbles, focusing on challenges.
We've seen some slow starts coming out from Moist at pretty much every event they've gone to. That is the reason as well they went to Game 5 against SMPR in that spring split. But we'll see how long it takes for them to get in. Vatira, a rare miss. One of the best players in the world. And Exotic, he's going to capitalize.
Exotic has certainly been in the conversation for MVP in the tournament. A pre-flip into the shot.
Love
top corner, getting flashy. And my word, Exotic, I mean, he came out of the wild card. #1 goals per game, #1 assists per game, #1 in shots per game, and demos per game on his team. Ridiculous stats putting up from Exotic.
He was down and out. He was kind of unthought of as a player. Ever since RLCS, he had
a big shadow of Archie.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden he's performing. He's really been a team player for SMPR. He's been a large reason for their performance towards the end of this season. And it's only going to continue here in the match that determines who makes it through straight to Sunday.
Top 8. Extra $70,000. Big flick now, off to the backboard. Vatira, heavy clear downfield, and Joyo is there waiting for the reception. Does not find it, and a good interception there from SureSet.
Good to see Casio challenging early, making Joyo just worry a little bit about whether that touch comes through. Just has to back off. And if the game does go into a midfield grind, that is where SMPR often gets the advantage. Great at backing each other up on the challenges. We'll see Exotic for the solo play, turn to set up, SureSet. That's no goal just yet, 2 minutes remaining. Moist down 2 goals, the tournament favorites need to find something here.
And I do like that approach from SMPR. You could see it was Vatira behind the ball. Classic move from Moist to go up into the air, go for a solo air dribble. But SMPR don't want to challenge early. Instead, they're waiting on the backboard, anticipating that Moist are going to try and play this mechanical game. And SMPR don't want to waste any boost. Nobody's there to challenge, but there's an interception. Casio waited, was patient, and then found the prediction. That's what SMPR need to do on defense.
Rise has been looking for it. First man player here for Moist. He had a huge performance in the winter split, but it's been Vatira that has performed so consistently on all halves of the pitch. Joyo with the angle.
Oh my! Joyo defying physics, How did he slip this in? What is that angle? That shouldn't be possible, Yummy.
He used just a slither of the bottom of his card.
Oh.
It's one of the most difficult angles to read. And Joyo makes it look easy. He's done that a million times in free play, and he does it again. With a minute 30, Rise looking for another. Moist, they're hungry for this one as they take another shot. No, it's going to be a pass off the wall. Vatira, the last man back. Great challenge because there were two players from SMPR. They were circling to try and get the 2-goal lead.
Engines revving on the side of Moist, getting warmed up, finding solid mechanics, looking for more double taps, big whiff in the midfield, but Moist continue on. Now there's a demo play, it's missed, and off the crossbar. The defender did dodge it, and still SMPR hold on to their lead.
Love seeing that from Rise. Moist, one of the things they've done so well is fake a play, go for the demo, go for the bump, be very creative in their attacks. And didn't work out that time, but you see Vatira as well, looking for that bump. There's Moist pushing hard with these 40 seconds left just to try and equalize.
This does feel like a classic game one out of Moist. Slower start, but as we get into it, towards the second half and now into the final 30 seconds, mechanics come out, team passes come out, getting aggressive, stealing boost. SMPR are in a bit of a predicament, but they can certainly battle out. Just need to be strong on those challenges.
There's a shot from Rise! Rise has found it with only 18 seconds, and SMPR fall to the tournament favorite.
And it comes down to the challenge from Vatira off the top right corner, back down into the midfield. And that is the play where Moist are able to capitalize. They've been waiting for the past minute, holding pressure, and might just send us into OT.
And this is the problem. When you're versing Moist, you just know that they are never down and out. But Cassio, he was looking for a special touch off the backboard. Still 7 seconds left as SMPR do not have much boost, but neither do Moist.
That stays up, that stays up.
There should be a chance here for Moist if they can read this touch, if they can get it past, but Cassio stays behind and he takes it to OT.
Gonna repeat myself, SMPR 9-0 in overtimes at Worlds. Haven't lost one yet. This might be their first one, unless Exotic can get it clear, and he does. Back down the other end.
When it comes to overtimes though, Moist are known as the most clutch team in the world. That's why they have been winning these last two events. So this will be the real challenge for SMPR. 20 seconds in. Vatira's looking for Rise. Rise instead steals the boost. Some great play off the ball. Does get returned. SMPR playing it safe in this overtime.
Nice little bounce from the corner. Doesn't find his man. Exotic was in the midfield lurking. Shawstad, good control to force it into the corner. And then there's a double commit on the field, so there's going to be space from Moist. An early challenge out of Cassio, but of course, if Joyo's behind the ball, he can do something crazy. Getting more mechanical as this game continues on.
Just needed a little bit more boost. That would have saved him from having to flip early. Moist still circling. They've been stealing these corner boosts. Not much on SMPR, as that's a great touch out. Saves SMPR's skin again, but
Joyo, he's alone again.
Gets the extra touch. There is one more in the middle, but he backs off. It was Rise not willing to push too hard on this goal. Demo coming out from Vatira. Has that opened it up? No, sure set. The biggest defenders here for SMPR will hold the net.
SMPR have found themselves in that classic trap against Moist, where Moist are winning challenges, going up in the air early, and then they'll take your corner boost. There's got to be a way to dig yourselves out. SMPR need to find that shovel, and this might be it with a 50 from Cassio, who is rolling in, but Moist and their rotations find a way.
Oh, that's an awkward touch for Exotic. Rise got it to the perfect position where he couldn't really cover it. Instead, it's going to be right there in front of the net. Moist takes it overtime. They've ended the streak. The overtime streak from SMPR is done.
Killed. And it's all because of Rise with that speed. There wasn't even a touch coming out from SMPR on the challenge. Quick pace, outmaneuvering the defense. And just like that, your record shattered in overtimes. That's gotta hurt.
Both records shattered. The 9-0 in overtimes and the 10-0 when scoring the first goal. Both have been broken, and it had to come down to a team as strong as Moist to do it up against SMPR. And I felt like Rise did so much for the attack in that.
So much.
He was not just impactful on the ball, he was stealing so much boost away from SMPR. He was going for those bumps and demos. I think that scoreboard, 450 points, should be double that with the impact he had.
And it was the first start for Semper where you're thinking, okay, maybe Moist do fall in game 1, but then here comes Joyo reminding us what he's capable of.
Also, I have something to admit. There's something brilliant about Moist. At the beginning of the season, before they'd ever achieved anything, before I even knew who Joyo or Vatira was, Rise came to me and challenged me.
Okay,
he said,
he's
going to win the World Championship.
Okay.
I was thinking this is a joke. There's no way. If Moist do win the World Championship, Rise gets to shave my beard and my head.
All right.
At the end, and honestly,
more motivation.
I hope they do. This is the level of confidence that has shown in his teammates, the grind, the drive across this season.
Right.
That might be enough to take them all the way.
It's ridiculous what Moist have been able to accomplish. Obviously, think back to London, taking the win at that spring major. Joyo, the spring major MVP. He came out clutch in game 1 with the solo plays, creating space for him and his teammates. He's gonna have to do it again in game 2. And Semper, maybe fall back onto that dribbling play style, focus on the control, and try not to get baited into those challenges and trying to outpace Moist. Need to be more patient in the backfield. I noticed Cassio in that previous game, kept jumping really early, was eager to get up to challenges, and it's not the best look against a team like Moist.
I do also worry for Semper not taking that first game, considering how we've seen, and even Cassio talked about Moist having slow starts. They haven't been able to take advantage on that, so it's going to be up to them stepping up here. Rise, a bit confused, Exotic's found it open, never Vatira! Oh, you can never count him out when he's close to the net.
Joyo going for a flip reset too. On the opposite side, early moments from Rise. Think back to that OT winner. It was him in the midfield, but denied from Exotic. We'll see. Moist has been another slow start, but I think this is how they want to play their game. Don't necessarily need to force any goals out. Just wait for that opportunity which comes, and Joyo might make use of it.
This is great for Semper when you've got Exotic getting so much work done at the front. He's the kind of player who will open up the net. His main goal is to take players out of the game and give Chaussette or Cassio an open net. So we're seeing a little bit of that coming out here with Moist, having spent the last 30 seconds on the defense. They have managed to maintain enough boost in the corner, but Cassio now,
what a dunk!
Almost sneaks it in. There still should be a chance, but Chaussette over the top of Exotic. That was certainly a good opportunity if they had communicated there.
That's a painful one. Exotic, like you said, was in the right position. A big win from Joyo off the crossbar. Bounces out. Semper, I think the best approach on offense is going to be small touches between themselves. Bigger clears are going to get denied from the speed of Moist, so keeping it within your own control. Another crossbar, the main enemy against Moist. That crossbar doing so much work for Semper.
Chaussette just trying to keep this one out. That's great again from Cassio, taking Vatira out of the game. But they are stuck in defense for now. They're going to have to do a lot more work. They don't have the defensive passing. Moist rotating wide, ensuring that they can secure the mid boost. Rotate in as the shot comes out.
Joyo.
Giving them the best opportunity possible. Joyo not able to get it past that last defender.
Good work from Exotic. That's what I'm talking about. You'll see a player like Joyo go into the air. Somebody needs to be patient. It was Exotic. Cassio flew by him, but Exotic was the one who stayed grounded. Back into the corner we go. Joyo off the backboard. This might lead to something, but Moist keen to just hold possession, take some boost, try and put Semper in as much of an uncomfortable situation as they can.
This is the rising tide from Moist. It's been back and forth, but Semper had so much of the ball possession first half of this game. Now it is all in Moist's favor. Again, no real passing opportunities out of defense as the challenges keep coming through. Semper not finding their positioning, and that's only a matter of time between somebody like Rise or Joyo setting up a play. Finally, we see the first clear coming up for Semper. How long can it last?
But I'm still impressed with the damage control out of Semper. While they're stuck in their own half, the boost is getting taken, they're getting demoed, they're getting bumped like we just witnessed. Then a pass in the midfield. Exotic has to dodge another one, and it slips through. About to compliment Semper's ability to hold on against Moist, but after all these plays unfold in front of you, there's only so much you could do, Yummy.
And credit to Exotic. He was able to avoid the bump, but he still almost got up to it. But against Moist, with 2 minutes of solid attack. You know an opportunity is going to come. And now SMPR in that difficult position behind. They usually like to hold on to a lead. They can't get into that spot
Look
right
at the
now.
speed.
They're going to have to score soon, but they're outpaced by Vatira.
You can't go for big clears against Moist. They're going to outpace you in the air. The predictions are there, the speed is there, and of course the mechanics are there for Moist. SMPR, keep it close. Small dribbles out of your own half, small touches between each other. With booming clears, you're just giving away possession instantly to Moist.
The thing is, SMPR are playing the play style they want. They are hitting their game plan.
There we go.
Want to
We need a dribble.
Play it defensive, but against Moist, they're not overcommitting. Almost scoring the clincher. Rise. Look for another, but now it's the chance.
Space for Casio.
Counterattack coming out. Off the roof, Casio! Blocked again by Joyo, and there's still members from Moist. They're in a good position here to hold on with 30 seconds. It's going to be a bit of a miracle for SMPR to get past them. They can do it in the next 20.
SMPR, it's their turn to create an onslaught of shots. They can hold on to possession. The ball flicked into the midfield, but it's intercepted from Vatira, the defensive mastermind. And we've come down to the final 10 seconds. SMPR urgently needs something.
They're panicked here. Casio gave away the ball.
Cleared out.
They had that one last chance to score. Vatira again in the midfield, the pre-jump, and Moist now 2-0 up in this series.
Vatira reminding us of how impactful he can be on the defensive side. There was 3 consecutive interceptions that we just saw within that final minute, where he read the pass, got a touch, and denied SMPR from moving forward. A lot of heroics given from Vatira. Joyo, of course, not too many solo plays from him, but we did see him take off into the air, waste some time, and a classic, clean 1-0 game for Moist.
A game like this proves just how capable, how adaptable Moist are. It's a completely different game to game one. It was more about midfield control. It was more about making sure they were always in SMPR's half. And then once they had the lead, they shut down everything SMPR could do.
I mean, as we're watching the Mobile One high performance replay, you saw that play that won this game for Moist was a nice controlled dribble into the midfield, changing it up. The thing about Moist is they're a 3-headed dragon. There's so many different avenues they can go down to if they want to get a goal. They have solo plays. They can throw somebody forward. Off the backboard, you're going for double taps. Then all of a sudden, you could switch things up completely 180 and go for a dribble with a small little flick into the midfield. And Moist, they are just elegant in every single situation. SMPR, how do they respond, Yummy? What is going to be the difference maker to get out of their own half?
We need to see something. It's either got to be that dream hack draw step that we keep thinking about. It's got to be exotic, making more than just these simple plays. Going that next level, go to the double fake, and yet still maybe needs to go over 9,000 if he wants to beat Moist.
Really good read from Shawset 45. Smacking that double tap away from Moist. And there's some more space. I think it's the early game for SMPR. The first 2 minutes, that's the time for SMPR to strike. Moist have their guard down every single game whenever things just get started. SMPR are going to want to punish and capitalize off that, but they can't find good passes downfield. I don't know how possible it is.
Especially when you see so many of these touches where...
Here we go.
It's just hit forward. Shawset has tried to open it up, but that's the first play we see. They kind of slowed down, not about just taking it away from Moist, but actually generating something for themselves.
I think there might be something with the communication. SMPR get this control in the corner, and as they're moving into the midfield, the communication isn't spot on, and sometimes that pass doesn't connect with the third man. Vatira, good work to get out of his own half. Over to Rise, a 1v1, goes for the fake, and flips it in. The mind game's coming out.
Oh no. SMPR looking like a turtle on their back.
Wow.
Flailing there, Exotic completely taken out by Rise, and after a bit more of a relaxed game in the last one, Rise has stepped up again.
I didn't think he could find the angle. Within the first minute, we get a mind game, more mechanics, but still better possession and pressure from SMPR. It's one counterattack that changes the pace. Meanwhile, Exotic is on the air dribble, doesn't have the boost to follow through, and that transition cut short.
It is a game like this that maybe SMPR looking their best. They are down 2. They know they need to change it up. And they've been slowing the ball a lot more in the offense.
They can't even get boost though, Yum. The midfield boost, take it. Then you go back into your own corners. It's not up right here. Shawset just drove over it, doesn't have any. And as he's the third man, he's gonna look to make some kind of a difference. A little slower on the approach and doesn't find it.
That's hurting so many of their offensive opportunities because they don't have that follow-up.
Right.
One person is making the play. They are kind of creating some semblance of a chance, but then the other two have to run back for boost and aren't part of the play.
It's so frustrating, too. We just saw Moist go up for a solo play, an air dribble into the air. Exotic has no choice but to challenge it. He wastes all his boost going up for a challenge, doesn't connect, and then it's the second man behind him who does get a touch, but both players had wasted boost. Here comes Rise. He doesn't have any boost to himself, but they're just abusing the backboard. He's got his flip. He uses it, and Vatira strikes again.
Vatira! You cannot stop him. He's
my.
played the beast. The flip reset. Exotic can't get up. You have to cover the bottom. You have to cover the top. You can't cover Vatira.
You don't even know when they're going to shoot. It's off the backboard 3 consecutive times in a row, and then he saves his flip. Come on.
This man's a genius. He is almost certainly the best player in the world right now, and you can see why. Just how impactful he's been. Moist is still looking for another one. They know 3 goals will secure this game.
But there is a monster that, granted, is asleep right now, but still alive nonetheless.
But he's been sleeping for
and
the
it's
last
Exotic.
year.
It's Exotic, though.
Oh.
He's there. He's on the other side. He can awaken, believe in that man and his ability to carry this team and put them on his back. Chaussette and Cassio can do some damage on the defensive side. Maybe Exotic steps up offensively.
We'll see if that is the case. Still holds true. Did not play in the first 2 splits, Exotic, and then came out of nowhere to bring SMPR back on the map after they lost their star player, Archie. And yet, could be just a minute and 47 seconds away before they have to reverse sweep a team like Moist. This is their chance.
There it is.
Cassio found Chaussette. Vatira again. Vatira, he is unbeatable in the defense.
He's the backbone for the defensive side of Moist. He was patient on the backboard, then now he's going on the other side, getting some demos. He's back in the 3rd man spot. He's got space in the air. What's he gonna do with it? A flip reset over one, then a solid setup for the other, and it's 3-0.
Vatira scores an absolute worldie.
Come on.
Then he gets a flip reset pass. Then he gets the best save. Joyo is going to score. Moist looking like they're going to match point.
A painful setup for Exotic. The clear needed to be stronger into his own corner. But after getting pressured time and time again, there's only so much you can do. Now they're freestyling. Rise off the ceiling. They just want to get more and more flashy, Yummy.
This is where it gets worrying for any team, because when Joyo has that confidence to play like it's free play, that's when you have an MVP performance like he did in the grand final of the London Major, where he almost was the big difference between them winning that grand final up against Falcons and potentially losing.
Exotic.
Exotic still can't beat him. Once again, it is Vatira with a save.
We've got Joyo going for mind games on his own half, breaking the axles of SMPR. And now, with 40 seconds left, SMPR, they don't get one early. I don't know if it's possible. We've seen crazier things happen, but going to need a miracle to get back into this game. Otherwise, it's going to be match point for Moist Esports, their 2nd time on the stage, and they are as comfortable as can be.
Chaussette was looking to set it up, looking to bring this back to something, but looks like the Chaussette is on the other foot. Rise, the counterattack.
Wow.
4-0. And well, hoping you reverse sweeps, Moist.
No, well, you say that now. Listen, SMPR have a history. Everybody doubted them coming into the wild card. A lot of people were sleeping on them. They smacked so many players, so many teams in that stage. They come out, they win and beat Endpoint in Game 7. These guys have the ice. They've got the mechanics. It's such a fantastic team, but it's difficult against Moist, who still, with 1 second left, are finding their 5th goal.
Yeah, you say all that. You say that SMPR dominated.
I'm just saying,
card.
it's dangerous to count them out, all right?
You say all that, but that just proves how good Moist is.
Yes, it
they
does.
are making one of the best teams in the competition so far look like easy work.
Maybe we see Cassio step up himself in this series again. What are you laughing at?
The triple free jump.
Moist just wants that flashy.
If they score
I mean, you're up 5-0. The confidence is coming out, and we still don't even see a goal from SMPR. They're going for triple resets. They're 2 players falling off the ceiling. SMPR struggling to get out of their own half. They don't have any boost, Yummy. I'm looking at the boost tallies. I'm looking at how they're able to even get on the offensive side. Their only option, it seems, is one massive clear downfield, but then you're just giving it away right to the worst player you can, which is Vatira, who's waiting downfield.
Oh, I remember, Turtle, when you had to try and carry Sears.
Okay.
If you were ever there without boost, what did you have to do? What can SMPR do here?
It's so frustrating because if you can't pick up your own corner pads, you have to just rely on the small boost pads, and that comes down to habits because you're under so much pressure. If your rotations aren't already going over these small little pads, it's over for you. You are going to get destroyed. That was something I hugely struggled with. I couldn't manage to get those rotations in, and SMPR, it seems like that might be the same issue. 5-0 against SMPR. Moist seemed to look unstoppable, Yum.
And this could either be a positive thing or a negative thing, but SMPR did not take their timeout. They want to go straight into the next game. They've either given up or they know what to do.
You're on match point. All right, you just want to get back into it.
Well, SMPR aren't on match point. They're on a little too far away.
They're facing a Moist on match point, rather. Big clear down the other side, and what do we get? Early starts are needed, Chaussette. That would have been it to get the first step done and over with. And instead, you're dealing with more shots, a double tap, 1v1 for Exotic. Instead, Joyo, come on, get in the demo on the way back. Physical gameplay out of Moist.
This feels so frustrating for SMPR. They've been so close to the goal so many times, but up against these saves seems ridiculous. Got out of defense and do have Chaussette once again. He has to go straight for the shot because even though we know Chaussette can do so much with the ball, he just has a member of Moist on his tail at all times.
The dribbles, I will say, out of SMPR have been their best chance to break down and shatter the defense of Moist. That control, instead of these big clears from Casio, the control aspect of SMPR is something that I have been very impressed with. Their ability to keep the ball on top of their car, go for a nice flick. It's created opportunities, it's created chances. If you take it into the air, you're facing a 50-50, and then now a big miss from Chaussette. Mechanics off from SMPR.
The other thing we've seen, and this even goes into their game plan, I spoke with Casio, he's happy to go and clear the ball in these situations on land, thinking, you know, this is going to be enough against nervous teams.
Yeah.
And that did work in, say, RLCS Season 8 when Veloce managed to get the top 6 with Casio. But in this modern era, in the new stage of LANs every few months, these teams have so much less nerves, they're so much more veteran, and it just doesn't seem to be working.
And you're usually not up against a team like Moist who's so comfortable in the air.
Yeah.
Big clears can be advantageous if you're up against a team who likes to control more. But Moist, if you throw this ball up to the ceiling, Moist are like, okay, you're doing most of the work for me. I was going to go there anyway.
Rise from the corner. He takes the first one. He takes the second touch. That is a very difficult read to go up so early.
I can't believe what I'm seeing out of Moist. This is dangerous stuff. One game away from making it to the playoffs. Moist, they look to be in perfect form, hitting every shot. Supernatural powers coming out of these three lads. But don't count SMPR out yet. There's still a chance. One goal, Yummy. I refuse to count SMPR out.
So much more optimistic.
I refuse, okay? Everybody did this in the wild card. Everybody did this against Endpoint. It's not happening, okay?
I mean, come on. The European analysts have spent all year underrating SMPR. But even still, I think it is hard to expect them at this point to be able to make a comeback. Now, it's possible in this game, and I hope to see a game number 5. It won't happen if they let Moist take the reins as they seem to be doing it. It's kind of just opportunity over and over again for these solo plays.
I think it's all about building layers and establishing a better idea of what you're going for. These guys...
Rocket League is like onions.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Yum. I really appreciate that. Looking for layers, trying to peel back. It seems as though SMPR have one step figured out, and that's going for a dribble, but then after that, things fizzle out. And it gets stale real quickly. Right there, a big 50-50 win. SMPR were looking for a patient approach, didn't connect. And then now we've got one clear, but nobody's down the other side. Maybe a demo could work. Physical gameplay could be something to throw in the mix. might be too late. 1:23 to go.
And they're just looking very wilted at the moment, Sam. But they, as you said, only have a one-dimensional gameplay at the moment. It changes up, but kind of halfway through, they'll either always go for those slow plays, the dribbles, or they're always clearing. And you can see the difference between them and Moist, who are so creative.
See, though, what does Exotic do with this solo play? Just went up for the 50, giving away to Vatira, and then Vatira somehow manages to get 2 50-50s in a row. You're up against a player who is not just going to go for one challenge, but he's going to stay in the air and then fall on top of you for a second one.
He looks so awkward, Vatira, and yet he stays behind it. And that's only going to bait SMPR in for the shot. 40 seconds left. It is going to take something special here for SMPR to win this series. They're looking at this game. Vatira opting for the demo, passes it in. Jorset is there, Exotic as well.
Ooh.
Keeps it away as Joyo looking for that touch. And I mean, SMPR, they need the goal, but they can't even cross the halfway line.
They're up against a confident Moist. This is the Moist, of course, that won the Spring Major. And we're the Winter Major Grand Finalists. Joyo, the security, 2-0, 14 seconds left. Match point. It looks as though Moist taking the series win. Do we count out SMPR now? I don't want to. 14 seconds, come on. There's something in the air. Believe, Yummy, let's see.
I know you're one of the nicest guys in all of Rocket League.
This is happening.
But even you shouldn't be this optimistic.
10 seconds.
Moist have completely dominated. I'm calling the end of it right now. Moist 4-0 to go to Sunday to earn themselves $70,000 more and look for the World Championship. What a performance from the tournament favorites.
How can you not be confident in these three players moving forward? It wasn't just one of them who stuck out and had the spotlight on them. It was all three of them. You've got the Joyo flip resets. You've got Rise being dominated on almost every single challenge going against him, but then he moves forward and then receives the clear from Vatira, who's an unstoppable, unbreakable third man. It just seems like too tough of a task